This is February. I feel like it is the 26th. Wait, what is it? It's the 20. Shoot. I don't know. It's Wednesday. February something. Hey everybody, Brian Hogg. How's it going? February 25th, I think. In the morning, it's about 7 o'clock. I'm drinking my first cup of coffee. Probably looking a bit like crap because it's 7 in the morning. Haven't had my coffee, nor have I showered, nor am I dressed. I'm in my house coat. See? House coat. Here. Let you into the inner sanctum, as it were. The sanctum sanctorum, if that's a term. If not, that's the name of an 80s Devo band I really like. Anyway, I'm working this morning now. Here's a problem. I'm doing the work before the work, or the web work, with my day job stuff. Finding the time to build the puppets to bring the show to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to stop saying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I did the little turntable thing with my anyway. The challenge here, aside from the fact that I need to get all of the puppets done, is and designing them and frankly affording the materials, because it ends up costing a lot, is picking one to build at a time. But anyway, so what I'm going to do this morning first is I'm cutting up some of Snitch fabric. So this right here is going to be his arms. So if you're looking, see, this is going to be one arm, and this is going to be another arm. So by comparison, you have Mojo here, which I'm not sure if you can see in this light, but it's this is one piece. Basically, I take the fabric, I fold it over, so I sort of sew it where this will be one seam. So I'm going to do that this morning, and then I am going to excuse me, a little shiver. Take some of this foam, which I bought more foam recently, so this is a nice chunk of foam. $30 for that foam. That's awesome. It's good foam. It's bad if I'm going to have thin fabric, but it's heavier than this stuff, which is the really cheap upholstery foam. This being a prototype of Dan's body. That was another thing. I had a body for Jason, I cut a body, which was this one, but it doesn't look right. It doesn't look very nice or anything. So I'm going to make it more like that, which I have to do. But all these things take time. So I'm going to take the foam, and then I'm going to make his hands. Now the way I make the hands, I don't know if I have any samples, but alright, well here's actually the original Snitch's hands. He just happens to be dangling here. And you can't really tell from this, but I basically take the foam, and then I trace out his hand pattern here. So, you know, this isn't going to be it, but if it were, like a hand pattern, blah, blah, blah. That's really horrible. Well, I guess maybe if you were going to be a lobster. If you're a lobster, you'd be like, oh yeah, actually that's a pretty good lobster. Ooh, nice. Yeah, and then I trace that out 4 times, because each hand is made of 2 hunks of foam, and then I glue them together, and say I take some wire, which I don't know where the wire is, but I'll find it because it's not necessary at this step, and then I glue this. I would glue like one of these to a hunk of wire bent around for his bones, basically his bone structure. And I take another piece of foam, glue it on top of that, and then I'd make 2 of those, and those would be the hands, and I'd cover that in foam. So then you'd or fabric. So you end up with this. Mojo's hand is built like this, so so you can bend the fingers. So, which is a pretty simple, straightforward technique, and it looks pretty cool. It works well. So he is a piece of foam, wiring, another piece of foam wrapped in fabric. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the hand thing today. This morning. I might also do Clark's, just while I'm in the hand mood, because I got to get the wire out and stuff. Then I'm going to create his arms, and I might try to create his neck. Now the problem is, Jason here, he's using a pretty simple pattern for his head, because I kind of kept him that way, and he's got a circular thing, and it's easy. Snitch's head doesn't quite match it on the other side, so I've got to figure out the way to connect that, which is a bit of a thing. It's not a huge thing, but it's a bit of a thing. See here, I've cut the fabric, so you can see that it is it's the 2 pieces. Gonna be good. So I'm going to pin them. So basically, the arms are made by folding them over like this. I'll pin that together, sew it along this line, and then turn it inside out, and then it'll be an arm. It'll look like that tube, which you can hardly see because of the light, or like this one, or like that one. It's you know, standard way to do it. So this is what I'm thinking of doing for Snitch's hand.
because I just traced that. As you can see, cut that out. So then what I do is to maintain a certain level of consistency. I'm tracing this, or draw that out, sketched it till I got to what I liked, cut out the first one, which you can see there's a lot of marks on the other side, and then I'm just basically tracing around it, tracing around it, tracing around it, tracing around it. So these are Snitch's hands, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know where the 5 came from. Anyway, so there's 4 of them. And so what I basically will do is I'm going to take the wire, which is actually this wire. I'm going to cut it because it's kind of, you'll be able to see in a second, but it's very flexible. I'm gonna shape it for the finger, so it's going to be shaped with a marker. But basically, I'm going to create like a loop. I'm going to kind of make a loop that goes here, and a kind of a loop that goes there, and a loop that goes there, and a loop that goes there, and sort of roughly tie them around in the center. And then I'm going to glue the wire there, and I'm going to glue the thing there, and that'll be the one hand. And oh, also, these are Clark's hands, because he's kind of an alien. And this is the beginning of Clark 2 right here, and you can see his tongue, where he's got 2 of them. He's got 2 throats as well. The ladies love Clark, or the gay men love Clark? I'm not sure. Anyway, so I'm going to do that, and you'll see that in just one moment. And here we have the 4 hands. Snitch, Clark, and Clark with the wire in place. I have glued it, as you can see, so it's and there. It works, but I won't bend it terribly much because I don't want the glue to separate. Because I need the foam of the other half of the hand to really hold it in place. But it can, it can hold a different pose and everything. See, so that's that part of the hand. It looks kind of cool like this. I think it looks kind of neat. And Clark is only going to have 2 fingers and a thumb, so there's a little structural difference there. And here's one. See how it works. And now this wire, kind of am getting into the habit of leaving a bit of wire at the base of the hand right there, because Mojo has one and basically goes in. Now in this case, and I may do it with these arms because I kind of like the look. In a lot of arms, like this one, I'm jumping around a bit, there's foam in here, so kind of, or pardon me, not foam, polyfill, which is, I don't know where my polyfill, which is this stuff. This stuff here. Polyfill. Polyfill. So it's, stuffing, rather stuffing, really simple stuff. And that's what this is, and that's what most of the arms are. Snitch 1 is, you can tell because you can kind of go like this. One thing I kind of like the look of, actually, is Mojo. He's got 2 foam segments in his arm. So basically what I did is I took a tiny amount of this, I cut it up actually very similar to the way that I did this, and I just sort of glued it though, I didn't sew it, and then I kind of slid that inside the arm, which gives him an interesting, a very specific joint movement. The next phase is to basically, I'm going to take this fabric, I'm being very, very specific here, this is going to be a long making of, or behind the scenes. I basically put this on top of the fabric, making sure that the business end is down, that this is the inside of the fabric. And then I just sort of trace like a 1/4 inch, oh sorry, so I'm not used to the specific handheld camera, and I trace about a 1/4 inch around that, and I cut, and then I will glue that, and then I'll do that again on this side. So I'll take one here, and then I'll move it over there, and get another thing, and then I will sew those seams. That's what I did for Mojo. It's nice. It works nicely. I mean, with him here being Antron, I could have, or I could still tidy up that seam, but whatever. But it works. It's a little tidier than gluing it, which I have done in the past. This one is glued, and it just doesn't look, the hand looks a little weird. Like it's kind of, still has chunkiness, whereas this one is kind of, it's pulled together nicely. But so that is the very next step. So I'm an idiot. I recorded my description. I was what the next thing I'll show you in a second, and I apparently didn't properly hit record. So anyway, these are the hands. I've got them here. I'm not going to have time to sew them, but when I sew, or today, before starting work, but so in the next making of video, we'll show you how they look sewn. But basically, they'll come together nicely. And it'll look very cool. It takes about an hour per hand to sew, because you got to go really slow and precise. So those are the 2 hands. This is one of Clark's hands, which kind of looks at lobster claw-y. Nobody loves poor Zoidberg. And here are the two of them sort of roughly laid out with Clark, so it'll look pretty cool. These are the two arms for Snitch right here. As you can see, I've sort of folded and pinned the fabric. As you can see that there. See? Oh, very sexy. So that'll just take me a couple seconds to machine sew, because it's a straight line. This is Clark's neck. I don't have enough of the skin-colored fabric to do his sleeves, but it's okay because his outfit is going to be long sleeve, so it doesn't really matter. Now, Snitch, on the other hand, is not going to be long sleeve, so that's why I have his skin. But I underestimated the amount of fabric I would need, and I don't have enough for his neck, so I'm either going to have to dye more and hope I get the same kind of color, which is, I was just flipping there to make sure it was still recording. I'm either going to have to hope that I get the exact same tint, or a close enough tint that doesn't really matter, or I might change my plans slightly. He's going to have a button-up t-shirt, sort of like a short sleeve version of his shirt from the first season, but black. But I might change that, or I might keep that and then add a turtleneck underneath, so then his neck would be of the t-shirt fabric for the turtleneck, which I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do. So I'm going to have to think about that because I screwed up. So I've got to fix that thing. So anyway, I'll show you in 1 second what it looks like when these are sewn. Yeah, and then that'll be it for this morning. I did it again. I recorded something, but I didn't record it. I've only had 1 cup of coffee. I need to go upstairs and get another one. Anyway, this is Snitch with his arms. I just put him there so you can sort of see and also so I can see, so I can get a sense of his progress. The hands here, the arms are not connected to them. I will sew them after I, finish putting the hands together. But it'll look kind of cute. I think I'm going to do the foam tubes for that as well, so it'll give him a very rigid arm look, which part of the reason I'm going to do it for him specifically, I may or may not do it for Clark, I'm not sure which Clark, is because I want it to look it looks very tight and sort of accentuates the tininess of the arms. And then I'm going to have, like, whatever clothes I have, it'll be short sleeves, so I'll make, like, thick short sleeves kind of like thing, so it'll add to the scrawniness of his arms visually. And then here's Clark. Here's his neck. Got to sew this, but that's just sitting in place. It's kind of long, and it has to reach down through the body, which is why it's that long. Mojo has one. Poodles doesn't. Jason will. Most of them do, except live hands. Jason doesn't, because he's a live hands. The construction is a little different. So that's them, and just on the table here, that's about 4 hours to finish those hands. So about 6 hours to get the hands for 2 puppets built. So yeah, kind of time intensive even for really simple bits. More to come soon.